So the sense of place was very important for the story. It's a very personal story to me, but also the environment that you grow up in really shapes you, I believe. Um, so for this story, I knew that the community, the bush, the beach, the lake, the camping grounds, all those locations, and uh, and also the neighboring town. Uh, I just knew that to create Jackson as a character, the place he grew up in, the place he's connected to, the place he calls home, had to almost be a character in itself. In that it's very tied to him and his culture, and and yeah, like so using the five senses to really enhance an environment. But yeah, I really wanted the environment to act as a character in itself. Uh, in a way that the reader will feel that they're really there, that they're really connecting with that story as Jackson has connected to that land and that country himself. It's so important as growing up as an Aboriginal child, not seeing myself represented in books a lot, especially not in a very positive or authentic way. Definitely impacted my relationship with reading and with books. I just think that we turn to books and movies and TV to help us understand ourselves a little better, and I think by the increasing representation in Australian literature and beyond that, is very important for this next generation to see that their stories are valid, and there are other people out there who understand exactly the kinds of lives and experiences that they're having. Uh, Particularly I think representation is also important for interest. So I know that I would have loved reading a lot more if there were more stories about Aboriginal kids going on adventures, uh, or queer Aboriginal teens. If those stories existed, or if I had access to those stories when I was growing up, I think I would have loved books a lot more, and it would have just made me feel less alone in the world. 'Cause I think you do feel quite isolated uh, when you don't see yourself represented in anything. It does make you feel like your story doesn't matter, or your story isn't as important as what you're always seeing. Uh, so I think in terms of empowerment and relating to stories is really important for representation to continue to be an important part of literature and beyond that. The stereotypes are always really really clear when reading. If I'm reading a book that was written by a white author, for example, and they're depicting an Aboriginal character at an intimate level, you can really see that there is a disconnect there. So more diversity in publishing in the authors that are getting published, enhances that authenticity of representation, and yeah, breaks down those stereotypes that probably maybe a bit before my time grew up. Those stereotypes that those people grew up seeing themselves when they read books definitely impacts how they continue through the world as they get older, and yeah, I guess you internalize those stereotypes yourself when you keep reading them over and over. Yeah, it's a big question. um, I definitely think the diversity in publishing and the amount of representation we have in literature these days definitely yeah, it's definitely a good thing. And I think by reading the experiences or the, you know, reading a book that's from the point of view of a, Muslim girl growing up in Australia, uh, that definitely it definitely teaches you a lot about yourself when you're reading that story, because you're thinking about how, you're relating to that story in different ways, and you're also seeing the differences, and you're understanding that character more, and that experience more, which in turn, I guess, strengthens your relationships with other people, because you reach a deeper understanding of different ways of life and different backgrounds. We all come from different places, and I think I think that representation and that diversity really helps to make those relationships deeper, and it also helps you to get a better understanding of other people's experiences. Um, if you're sitting down with a book, it's a very intimate thing, and you're really walking a mile in someone else's shoes, and by reading those stories, that I guess it strengthens your empathy towards those different cultures and different ethnicities, and allows you to connect with people on a different level, that you on a more open level than you would have previously.